Hi, I'm Morgan Crosby from Finch Chevrolet in London, Ontario, Canada, and you're watching Cars and Crosby. All right, part 2 of Corvette extravaganza. I have a shipment of Corvettes that's arriving right now, and I've got a Corvette on the inside that's on its way out, and we've got some business drive stuff to talk about in today's episode. Oh, and then I guess we'll talk about my Z06 and the awesome adventure that I'm doing on that, all starting on today's episode, starting right now. All right, we're gonna start from the heart and talk about something that I've been working on over the last few days. You know, I do want to make sure that I have a legacy, and what I've done for the final part of this year in terms of a charitable donation is I've literally maxed out the payload on this truck with pasta and shreddies loaded inside and out from yours truly, Costco. And we're definitely going to strap it down before we bring it over to the food bank. But Finch has been doing this business drives for the London Food Bank for quite some time. Then I thought I would do my part in literally maxing out a truck with my own food to donate to the food bank as a way of being able to show my appreciation for the people that are in my community, and also to be able to help them out, because I have had help in the past in terms of being able to get support through the business that I work at. And so for me to be able to support other people, I think that is the least that I can do, especially if, you know, I have the luxuries of being able to have a Corvette. There's other people out there that haven't got the luxury to be able to have a good meal. And so I got to do my part, and that's what this is right here. Now, on the topic of Corvettes, I've got a C8 in the showroom that I want to show you guys, and it's on its way out. So I wanted to shoot this first before. We had 2 C8s arrive since we last did our video on the inaugural drop-off of the no-name Z06 of mine. This here is an Accelerate Yellow 1LT Z51 with a high wing. We did this high wing here. We still have plenty of them in stock, so if you are looking for some, you can get them. On a side note about the high wings, I don't know if many people know this, but you can only get a high wing from the factory if it's body color to match. So for some reason, if you get the black version, you can't get it done from the factory. And I think that has to do with the fact that it's just easier for them to be able to mass produce the carbon flash metallic finish, knowing that it's an accent color. So where I'm going with this, and high wings have been a big thing that we've been talking about lately, the vehicles are all painted together as one unit, so that all the panels, especially if there is a metallic finish to it, all have the same exact composition. So the amount of metallic plate or mica, if it's a pearlescent color, is all the same throughout every single panel. And so when it comes to doing a body color to match high wing, it would make sense for them to do that there at the factory, because they're going to match it to the same color of the finish. When you're getting the carbon flash metallic version, it makes sense for them to do it off-site and to have it shipped from the supplier, because it doesn't need to match, because everything is already done in the carbon flash metallic finish, which is different from the actual body and therefore off-site. Now, on the topic of interiors, I'm very happy. I don't want the alarm to go off with this. Hopefully it doesn't. Sky Cool Gray. I love Sky Cool Gray enough to get it on my own Corvette. And when you have it in a 1LT, you get a very healthy amount of contrast with the black speakers and the jet black Moulin interior. So this is a very cost-effective way at having a very fun, stylish interior with a lot of energy. And then for a nice, reasonable amount, you can get yellow calipers and yellow seat belts put on the Corvette to continue with that yellow theme. The Sky Cool Gray, in my opinion, is an underrated interior. I wish more people would take advantage of it, and I think that it looks really great with a vibrant, fun, energetic color. So having the yellow seatbelts to go with your yellow shoelaces, and then also to have a nice white leather seat with the white stitching, very cool combination. Now over here we have a Finch Original that's up for sale. This is a 2LT hardtop convertible that we actually wrapped black And we're going to talk about this one as well, because on my C8, I do intend on wrapping the top. So you can see here that the finish is looking very nice, but it's not painted from the factory. This has actually been wrapped, and so it's a different finish than what you have. And then we have this one over here. This is a 2LT that has the Z51 low profile spoiler on it. We already talked about this one with the forged wheels, and it is also on its way out. So that's what's in our interior showroom right now. Let's head out to the next adventure. All right, project time. We haven't had our PDI done yet, and in all honesty, I think it's probably for the best, because I think I just found another thing to save me some time and labor in terms of install. The carbon fiber is not available, and I'm trying my best to find ways around certain things. That's always what I've done, whether it be on the original C8 when the Trident wheel package was unavailable, and then when the Trident wheel package was available, it meant that you had to buy 2 wheels for quite a bit of money. I want to get a car, and I want to get it to look good, but I don't have to spend all the money in the world just to make it look good. There's ways that you can recuperate some of your costs, and I'm going to show you one right now. The carbon fiber ground affix, or the painted version of them, is in Canadian dollars a $3,000 option, and that's where the 3-piece splitter is made out of carbon fiber that's either exposed for a little bit more money, or it's painted carbon flash metallic black. Now, for you guys following along, this is carbon flash metallic. And if you haven't figured it out yet, my theme and my secondary color on No Name Z is black, carbon flash metallic. The spider wheels, the ground effects, and on that topic, these are already done in a carbon flash metallic finish. I'm a little irked that from the factory, your 3-piece splitter is done in a body color to match. I'm not a fan of the body color to match. I think that contrast is necessary in order to highlight and accentuate certain components. So the wishbone is without a doubt probably the highlight of all of them. And think of it like people that wear makeup, you know, when they do that to accentuate their cheekbones and their definition. That's the same thing that you're doing here. And when you have everything in a body color to match, things can get lost. And if you're looking at putting money into a beautiful functional design, sometimes just the finishing color can help you in showcasing that piece a little bit more. What I've done here is I've put electrical tape on one of the 3 splitter pieces that you get from the factory. Now, they're done in 3 pieces so that if you decide to have a little date with a curb, that you only have to replace one of the 3 components. That is kind of a clever design in terms of if there is an area that you're going to have to replace, make it so that it's easily replaceable and not one big long front splitter like there is on all the other generations. So I can understand their logic on it. I'm personally not a fan of having all the little brakes and stuff like that, but that's just the way it goes. Now, clearance on this vehicle, I have a front lift, so I could in theory put a more aggressive front splitter on here, but I actually don't really think it's necessary. But what I do think is necessary is matching the theme from the rocker panels to the front of the vehicle. I'm 99% sure that this is something I'm going to do, and I wanted to just showcase it to you guys before I did it, where I'm going to take these original pieces here, and I've got one of them in here. I guess we'll go around to the passenger side where you can see it, and it's the exact same layout as the carbon fiber version. And this is free. This comes from the factory to go on your Z06. So I don't have to worry about labor right now because it hasn't even been installed, and I can just bring it over to the parts department and get them to paint it for a nominal amount of money, way less than what it would be for me to get a carbon flash metallic version to match the theme for $3,000. So 1/10 of the budget to make it have a consistent design language where there's nice contrast with carbon flash metallic, which is my secondary color. So that is another great way that you can justify $3,000 or whatever the difference is in something else on your vehicle to help complete your theme. You're wanting to put the money on things that you can't replicate from another place. So the interior going, that is basically almost the amount of money that you would need to go from a 2LZ to a 3LZ. So that, in my opinion, is a great way of justifying the cost just with that. If you were considering getting the carbon flash ground effects but you were on the fence about it and you really wanted to keep the budget within an amount and you wanted to get the 3LZ interior, there you go, you almost paid for it. There's plenty of other options that you can do to showcase that, and in my opinion, that is a cost-effective way of getting the same style and appearance on the outside. And let's be honest, my lap times are not going to really make a huge sacrifice with having these composite versions over the carbon fiber ones. So yeah, on to the next adventure. Hi, mid-episode update for you guys. I got a lot of stuff that's changed since the first half of the episode. Let's get the biggest thing out of the way. Roc8shp has been sold. She's gone. She's local, and in the spring we are going to be doing a project on her in order to get a couple things that the new customer wanted to put on the Corvette. So you will see Roc8shp again, even though we didn't have a final farewell. I guess this is the verbal version of it right now. That was the first convertible I had ever purchased. And a couple things that were unique about that: I bought it used. I paid over list. So even as a salesperson, I paid over list because that was the market value on what the Corvettes are. And what else? Yeah, convertible over coupe. I have a coupe on my Z06 and I had a coupe on my original. And I had a coupe in the C7. This is a great cost-effective solution, but most importantly, the reason why I did the coupe again on my Z was I wanted to be able to see the LT6, the most powerful naturally aspirated V8 engine ever built. You know, I'm looking at Ferraris last night with a couple glasses of wine in me while my wife was watching a show, and as a fun fact, a 2003 F360 is the same price as my Z06. That just to me shows you how much value you get in the Corvette, that you have to go to a 22-year-old Ferrari with probably a third of the amount of horsepower in order to get to the same price point. So that to me is just absolutely wild. Coupe over convertible. Well, price is part of it. That's a $10,000 option, or 9,400 Canadian. It's a lot of scratch. That was enough to pay for a number of things on my vehicle, and I really wanted to see the engine, and I still had the ability to take the top off. And as you guys know, all these Corvettes are actually legally considered to be a convertible because there's no physical structure that is between the A and the B pillars on the car, so it still technically can be considered a convertible. We call it a Targa or a coupe when it is in that format. So those are the reasons, but as you can see with a convertible, there are some huge advantages. You still have the same amount of storage on the convertible, and you do have a little bit more of an experience. Now, the good, bad, and the ugly is something that we talk about on this channel, and I actually was already shooting this video in front of this car, and I almost had a heart attack because an individual left the rear window down and it is sprinkling out. And so over the course of 4 or 5 years that we've been doing C8s, and over the course of my 12 years here at Finch, I can tell you that this has never happened, but I'm going to document everything. We have a situation right now where a bit of water has gotten into the Corvette because it was raining or sprinkling out. It's not even raining anymore. It was just a little sprinkle. And the open area here had some water that came in. And as this is a convertible, this might be something that happens. I haven't really done anything to it. I just wanted to showcase to you the amount of water that's in here and what we're gonna do to fix this. When you get water inside of your Corvette, and with it having either a Targa or a convertible top, and you taking this out on the open road, there's gonna be a day when you can guarantee you're gonna get water in it, or you might just be in an extremely humid area. And over time, especially if it's before or after a rainstorm, that humidity and that mist in the air will accumulate inside of your vehicle. So first thing you need to do is you need to take the heat on high and put it on recirculate and let it run. We have a mobile fueling station, so this didn't need to go off the campus to get it fueled up. So I've got a full tank of gas and I've got the heat on high, and I'm gonna get as much of that water evaporated out of here using the heater within the vehicle. that is the first thing that we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is obviously continue to mop up as much as possible the water that's in here. And then the third thing that we're going to do is we're going to put some silica bags inside of it to get the remaining moisture out of the vehicle. And that is your best plan of action in terms of getting the water out. It is something that I obviously didn't wish to have happen. I can tell you that the owner of the Corvette was the one that did it. So at least that makes you feel a little bit better if you're getting a car from Finch Chevrolet, that is not something that happens. But you know what? The logic that I've always had in this industry is when a problem happens, it's a matter of how you handle it that makes the difference. So know that when something does go wrong with your vehicle, there is somebody that is willing to think outside the box or to start doing damage control as soon as they realize it. And that to me is the thing to take away from this. And if it happens to you, guess what? It's just your turn to take a bad chance car in the game of life, and we'll get better and we'll move on from it. So that is an unexpected twist and a remedy to showcase for you guys. The Z06 has got some parts that have been finished painted, so we're going to start to work on the trim. I doubt we're going to be able to get it done in this episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly go through with you guys the two latest projects that have arrived, and then we will get you on your way for whatever adventures that you have in your day. Three vehicles that I wanted to talk about. This is a silver flare metallic hardtop convertible. On a side note, you can see it's already working. The mist on the inside is starting to come out, so that is a good sign that it's working, because you can see the window is starting to fog up on the inside, not the outside, so that is key. This is a hardtop convertible. It has the painted top with the nacelles included, and we have a dual Indy racing stripe with a low profile spoiler. This is going to get some cool accents. There is some pinstriping that we're going to be doing to this vehicle, because the pinstriping versions that were available through GM. So if you're not aware, there are now dual Indy racing stripes that have accent pinstripes on them. This client wants to continue with the yellow from the seat belts and the brakes and do that yellow on the dual Indy racing stripes. So they're going to be doing a custom job with that. If I didn't mention it, also we'll be storing this inside with the windows down over the weekend as well. So that's the last component of it. We've got the only available forged wheels as of right now. And silver flare, I've mentioned it a bunch of times, is a metal flake that is yellow in this. So the yellow theme is consistent even with the paint, which I really enjoy, because there's some yellow hues that will pay homage to the seatbelts and the brakes that are on this specific model. So a very good style on this for a 1LT hardtop. And then over here we have another 1LT. I feel like right now, and this might just be something that I'm picking up on, and it may actually be something that's not true, but I feel like right now a lot of the clients that are buying Corvettes are trying to skirt the luxury tax, and they're making specs that are now exactly $100,000. I've seen a number of them, and I don't have every single sale here at the dealership, so I don't know the whole story behind this, but here is another one where the price is exactly $100,000. And I feel like a lot of people are doing it for the wrong reasons. This is a luxury tax that I'm sure nobody that buys a Corvette is excited about paying. But just like with a lot of things in life, there's just things you can't avoid. And I think that if you look at what this luxury tax is, which if you're not familiar, it's 20% on anything above $100,000, you're selling yourself short. If you were to buy your dream Corvette and it was $110,000, is that $2,000 in tax really going to change your life, as opposed to having the features that you wanted on the vehicle? I highly doubt it. Why I'm kind of concerned is because I'm seeing a lot of builds that are coming in now that are trying to be as close to 100 or just under it as possible. And I feel like in the long term, you're going to sell yourself short in terms of a feature that you might have wanted on the vehicle that didn't do. And in reality, that means that you may actually get lesser trade value, because there's going to be an oversaturated amount of base model Stingrays that are going to be on the market that are trying to skirt that luxury tax. And when you have an oversaturated amount of those vehicles that are competing to get sold, It means you gotta have to charge less, which means that you're not gonna have as much equity in your vehicle. So in my opinion, you should build your Corvette the way that you want to build it. And I'm not trying to toot on my own horn here, but that's one of the reasons why I feel like my Corvette sold over a lot of the other ones that are out there, is because it does have mag ride. It is a Z51. It does have the top painted. It does have the ground effects done to it. It did have PPF. It did have ceramic coat. You know, those are all the things that in reality, if you're going to be spending $100,000 to put all those extra options on, that's going to build value that sets you aside from the rest of the people out there. So I'm not trying to be this prick that's trying to tell you to spend more money. I understand that your money might only go that far and you have to respect people's budgets. But what I am saying is that if you're trying to prove a point and not paying luxury tax, and you're making a sacrifice that made it slightly go over, then you know, what's the benefit in that? I don't see it actually financially being that advantageous if you stretch it out over the course of a 2 to 3 year ownership. And it definitely isn't going to be the case if you're doing it on a shorter term ownership with the amount of Corvettes that we have built. On that topic, we are in the 5700s for VINs on the 24 model year already. So, you know, we're definitely already getting to a reasonable amount already in this model year. And yeah, I think that is enough for this episode. We've got cool Escalades going out. We've got, for the first time, a diesel version of our off-roading truck, the ZR2, which I'm excited about. I am already starting to think about what I'm going to do as a replacement for HMS Cars and Crosby one day. I did enjoy it, but I really do miss the Multimatic dynamic spool valve suspension. We have a AT4X HD here, but it hasn't been through the shop yet, so I can't take it out for a drive. And I'm excited to see what the AT4X HD ride is like, because in my opinion, it's an oxymoron. You have a heavy duty truck so that you can tow very heavy things. And to tow heavy things, you have to have a frame and a suspension that's very stiff. And if you have a very stiff suspension, it doesn't favor you for off-roading. So off-roading and heavy-duty towing are on the opposites of each other. So to have an off-road variant of a heavy-duty truck, I don't really understand how much of that is actually going to be noticeable in the suspension. And again, if you're not aware, the ZR2 and the AT4X have a dynamic spool valve suspension system. I can eventually find it for you. I don't know if that worked. You'll definitely see it back here. I can't even, oh, there it is. It's kind of there. It's a gold thing there. It's a really great shock. I can go into detail about it when we do a walk around on the AT4X HD, but that is going to give you a nice play in your suspension. And when you're towing, that's the opposite of what you want. You want a stiff suspension so it's not swaying and going everywhere. So I'm really concerned or curious about how this HD is going to work, because if that's the case, I might go from an Ultimate to an AT4X HD. If not, I'm seriously considering doing a Mini Max in the ZR2 or the AT4X next, because I'm a real big fan of the Duramax lineup. It's just an amazing block in the bigger, small version. Inline 6 in this has got a lot more of a smoother ride than the V6 L87, which is our 6.2 V8. In terms of fuel economy, you're going to get a lesser amount. You're averaging about, I don't know in Imperial, but like 9 liters per 100 on a truck, which is pretty decent. And I like the torque that comes out of it and the torque band that's there over the L87. It's just something different. I've done a lot of L87s, and the diesels, in my opinion, have been something that are standing out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We still have to do some stuff to my Z06. The weather is actually pretty decent right now. It's about 10 degrees, and it looks like it might be that for the next week. So I'm hoping to get more of that filmed on the Z06. We've got lots of Corvettes that are coming in. If you're on my list, we did get a Z06, and it was a Aero Package Z06, which was really great. So congratulations if you got that, and if you were on my list, you're now one closer. There was 40 Aero packages for the country, and we got one of them. So that was exciting to see that they finally had some Aero come for the 24 model year, even though they said that they weren't going to have any. What else? It's still 50-50 for the constraints on Z51 and non-Z51. So Congratulations to the people that are on my non-Z51 list, because you are very close to getting your order placed. Production right now is scheduled for the second week of February. So if you are getting a Corvette built right now, or you're getting it assigned, your salesperson's calling you and saying, congratulations, let's let her rip. You're gonna have your Corvette built in the middle part of February. And so extrapolate from there how far your delivery is gonna be. So I hope that helps you guys out with some more Corvette news and updates. I'm Morgan Crosby, and happy motoring.